Well, hello. Sorry. I'm always freshening myself up just before the show. My beard was being unruly with me. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dragonmount. I am Tom. I will be the host for tonight. Please excuse my my voice. I'm getting over the extra spicy con crud. I got COVID for the second time now. Nothing fun though. It's not con crud. It's grocery store crud because that's what our lives are reduced to now, and it's not fun. This one's kicking my butt. This one's kicking my butt a lot. The one I contracted at WotCon this past year stayed with me for a few days, but this one's been almost like 10 days now, and man, I'm just like tired all day. Don't get COVID. Be safe and wear a mask if you're not feeling good. Anyway, hello friends. Obviously I'm by myself again. It is Thanksgiving week and it is super busy for Ebony and Crystal. Crystal is a teacher, for those who don't know, so it's Thanksgiving break for her, and the games are going nuts for Ebony, as well as she's got a large man child at home now that he's retired. Her husband is retired, and Avienda is doing a lot of extracurricular stuff, so she's super busy too. So everyone send love out to them. Go to Instagram and the other place that we shall not mention that the musky man ruined, and send love to them because they need it and they need support. So yes. But without further ado, I am joined by two fantastic people that are going to help us through episode 6, which is it's not the Dark Along the Ways. Which episode 6? Episode 6 is the Flame of Tarvalon, right? And they're going to help us through that. So let's find out who they are.
Look, here comes an awesome guest.
I'm such a nerd. Hello, friends.
Hello.
How are you?
So good to see you.
Yay! I know it's been like forever. I haven't done Dusty Wheel in a while, and that's usually where I get to see you. That and then conventions is pretty much the only place I get to see you.
Well, I think we're on opposite sides of the country. That does make
that's fair. And then from Joe, you're always traveling all over the damn place.
Could be all over, but I've been home for a while.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Sparklespren, what's up? And Arotha, yay! Arotha was late last week. We won't hold that against them now. So we're watching a season 1, episode 6, The Flame of Tarvalon this week. What are y'all's feelings on Tarvalon and the Amerlin seat? So like this is we get to meet in these couple episodes here when they go to Tarvalon the Amerlin seat for the first time. We get to see the Hall of the Tower. We get to see the warders' quarters somewhat, and some architecture of the tower. So Frenzy, what's your feelings on Tarvalon as it's depicted in the show? Does it meet your what you had built in your brain, or?
I liked the intricacy of the tower, the architecture of the tower. Everybody likes to make fun of the map of Tarvalon and what it looks like, but just seeing it in 3D, it looks more like a battleship to me than it's just long, narrow island with a very large tower situated where it happens to be. The street sets and just the compact and just cosmopolitan nature of the way that the Tarvalon was displayed. I liked seeing that because that is true to the books. I think they did a good job of that. I liked the Easter egg of finding oh, thank you. I have wine now. It's now a party. Of Padan Thane in the crowd, hidden in the crowd. I liked the procession. I liked, the overall feel of it. It did feel a little bit compact. It didn't feel, it was limited to the sets. I didn't like Basil Gill there. It didn't work for me.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
He was kind of thrown in.
He was just kind of thrown in, and it didn't thrown in the wrong spot. But just the overall look and feel of the tower. I was satisfied.
What about you, Joe?
Well, I think Frenzy said most of what I had to say. At first it seems smaller than I think it actually
Tar
is.
Valon or the tower?
The whole city.
Okay.
But if you look closely, there's a lot more detail that they included that I guess I never imagined. The White Tower was built on a hill, which I never even. So I imagined. I always thought it was like Manhattan. It was just completely flat, and then you had a White Tower in the middle. But they condensed the city, but they emphasized the tower, and it almost looked like they stuck Minas Tirith, made it 5 times as big, stuck it in the middle of the island, and built the city around it. And I like what they've done with it. Smaller than I would have imagined, the whole city, but it's Tar Valon.
I kind of like the fact that they didn't go with the fanciful architecture of the buildings that look like seashells and waves and whatnot. I think that would have looked silly.
That would have been hard to pull off.
Yeah, it would have been hard. I definitely agree with you. I think it would have been hard to pull off without looking cheesy.
It wouldn't have worked on the overview shot they did when I think this was episode 5 when Rand first arrived. You saw it from the air, and that's not how people would have seen it. You would have seen it at the street level.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have worked how they presented it.
So the one thing that I really liked specifically about Tar Valon in the show was there's a picture, and I have it here, of Tar Valon. So I got to go to Robert Jordan's house years ago, and right when you walk in the front door, there was a picture of Tar Valon, and this was that picture. And the tower, it reminded me of the tower as they depicted in the show, where it was kind of squat. And then there was another image that I was trying to find, but I could not find it. I have so many pictures from this trip. I'll see if I could find it while we're watching the episode when we're talking. But there was another image too that's like an aerial view of the city, and like you said, Joe, the tower looks like it may be like topographically higher than the rest of the island. Like it may be built on a hill, or maybe somewhat like even chiseled out of out of like a rock or something that was there. Who knows? I kind of like how it looks like the accepted chamber in the later episodes. It almost looked like it was built on top of it. Like it looked like that was like a natural cave, and maybe those terangrial were already there, and they built it on top. Obviously, that may not be the case. That's just that's just me. Like that's what it looks like, because it's not like a finished room. It looks like it's like a rough cave, almost like a naturally formed cave. But I like what they did with it all in all. The architecture of the show, the sets were nice. I do agree also Basil Gill was weird there. I wish they did the Camelin stuff, but
I would have loved to see Camelin.
Yeah. Hopefully next season we'll get to see some more cities. If not just
3?
The Isle Waste, as according to the things that we've heard so far.
You had
I'm sorry.
So when you had the picture of the White Tower up. It was based off of this building in the Citadel, which I was there the other week.
Yes,
and it's nowhere near as big as that, but it has this. I don't want to say foreboding, but just it. The building he based it off of kind of looks over the entire area. Maybe you can pull up a picture of it. I don't know what it's called. It's the Citadel. I don't know which building in the Citadel it is, though.
Yeah,
I have a picture somewhere.
Yeah, I think I got it.
But it's the highest thing in the whole campus.
Yeah, I think I got it right here.
It's white like that.
Yeah, I found it. I'll get it up in 2 seconds. For some reason, it wants to save not as a image to be able to put into here, but I can just.
It's because you're on live stream and nothing works.
Yeah, I could just share my screen, and then we can see it like that.
That right there.
I think that's it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's not 600 feet tall, but
No. But it's but it is a like a very strong presence on the campus. Some of the other images that I saw when I was just searching for that, they're further back. Some of them are higher, and it's visible in every image that I saw. So that's pretty cool. What were you doing at the Citadel?
OgierCon.
Oh, right, OgierCon was this. Man, I forgot.
I know.
It's been a crazy couple of weeks.
Oh, this past couple of weeks just flew right by.
I really wanted to try to get there this year, but that was not the case.
We went and got COVID instead.
Yeah, it
well,
is.
At least you got something.
Yeah, it's my consolation prize.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I got a COVID booster the other week.
And this was the kick in my butt to make sure I go get mine because I have not gotten mine yet. Make sure to go get your vaccinations.
Well, now you have it.
Talk to your doctors. Well, yeah, I'm still gonna go get it. I'm still gonna get the vaccination always, and I got to get my flu one too. But speaking of sets and things, our new CEO, I mean, she's been the CEO now for I want to say almost a year. So I think it still qualifies as new though. Got the chance to go over to Prague, like we've been seeing a lot of people post recently. And we could finally share the stuff now. So I'm going to share some images that we have. That's Kathy. Isn't she fantastic? She got to go to some awesome places, one of which was the Two Rivers. And also Jordan Studios, which is what they
Did she get to keep that umbrella? That's
that was one of her gifts. She got a bunch of gifts that she's going to share and talk about too. She also got to lounge with a Trolloc and see some of our friends that we haven't seen in forever. Sarah Nakamura. Oh, that's the bad picture with her eyes closed. Sarah Nakamura, who is the Wheel of Time book nerd. I'm going to butcher her name, but Magdalena Sitova, who plays Tigraine / Shail in episode 7, which we'll be watching next week. The Blood Snow, Rand's mom, Earth Mother. She got to meet her and a bunch of other stunt people. She also got to see a lot of the costumes from season 1 and season 2. The woman in this picture here is Sharon Gillum, who is the lead costume designer. She was awesome. I got the chance also the day that Kathy met her, I got the chance to interview her and Davina Lamont, who is the lead prosthetics, makeup, and hair person on the show. So we'll have those interviews up on our YouTube channel soon. They're audio only, but we'll have them listed for our Patreons earlier than they'll be listed on our YouTube channel, and they'll be the unedited versions as well. So that should be fun. So what Kathy wants to do, and I'm going to put a poll in chat to see what y'all think, and obviously you guys can voice your opinions too. We're thinking about doing a live like this, like a live stream with Kathy, and have people be able to talk and ask questions about her time in Prague. And either myself or Crystal or Ebony or Kitty, someone will be there to talk to her about it. Or we do a pre-recorded thing and I collect questions from everybody and we can ask her questions. So would people rather a live or pre-recorded is, I guess, the poll that I'm going to put out in our YouTube chats right now. What do you guys think?
I don't know. But give it to me now.
I wish I got to go.
Right.
But I want to pick her brain and know everything that she got to do.
Right.
I was looking through a bunch of the pictures and I pulled out, a bunch of fun ones, but
next
obviously
September
not
can't
everything.
come fast enough.
I know. And also I forgot to grab an image though. If anyone is able to travel to Europe next year and to Prague, that is where MalkirCon is going to be hosted, and Guy Roberts will be
Stabby stab.
Yay! MalkirCon will Guy Roberts, who plays Uno, is going to be the guest of honor there, as well as WoTCon. So he's going to be a world traveler next year, going to be coming over to the States, and spending time with the Euro contingent of the Wheel of Time community, I guess. All right, so the poll should be up in a second. I just clicked it. Nothing ever wants to work for me the first time I do it. There it goes. Okay. Yes. So what's the other? I think I had another picture in here that was fun. Where is it? There it is. There was some behind the scenes. This is the one I'm going to share now. There's a bunch of there. I think she sent me like 300 or 400 pictures. There are a lot of pictures. She got to go to the set of the Two Rivers. There was a lot of people there in costume, portraying some of their background characters that they portrayed while the show was filming. But it was the full Two River set. Also, notably, the undestroyed Two Rivers set. So that's interesting. So we'll have a bunch of those images to share, and some Q&As for Kathy. So if anyone wants, I'm going to post a Google form in the chats right now. So if you have ideas for questions, feel free to submit those anytime on the Google form, or just throw them in chat and I'll hang on to them. Oh, I wish I got to go. It looks like so much fun. These costumes are so sick looking. So what do we got here? We have
Sirath or Void?
Yeah, Sirath, Turok, and then what's her name? Turok's voice. Starts with an A.
Wait, Turok's voice or Sirath's voice?
Sirath's voice, sorry.
Alwyn.
Alwyn. And then maybe are those the more blood. It says it right there. Blood Elite, Shanshan. Interesting. That's pretty cool. That set is also that looks like a Valon set, doesn't it? The windows. Huh. Interesting. There's a lot of little tidbits to pick out in those images. I can't wait to start picking those apart with people. Yeah, I'm excited for that though. So we're going to get ready to start the episode soon. If anyone wants to follow along, I will do shout outs, like watch on their own. I'll do shout outs of the timestamp. And if you want to go over to Twitch and to our, to our channel over on Twitch, which is Dragonmount.com, you can follow along and join the watch party and watch along with us. So I will post our handle for Twitch if you want to go over there. You have to have, I believe, an Amazon account hooked to your Twitch account to actually watch it, but we'll find out together, I guess. I'll be starting that in a minute here. I just want to give people time to go over and join it first before I click start. But is there anything that y'all want to keep an eye out for this episode? Is there anything that stuck out to you for this episode in particular?
Some are full spoilers for both seasons.
Yes, for both seasons and up to book 3 for now.
This episode pairs well with, what is that, episode 7, where Moraine and Swan essentially break up.
And we get the flashback also. Yeah,
that look of betrayal on Moraine's face.
That's a good point.
Contrast to what is going to happen in this episode.
Yeah, we'll keep that. I'll try to keep that in the forefront as we watch this episode. All right, I'm gonna click start over on Twitch. So if anyone's having issue with Twitch, just let me know. It should be starting. You should get if you're over watching on Twitch, you should be getting a prompt anytime now to actually watch it with a countdown. And we should be good to go. Yay. All right. So you should be seeing the countdown now where it says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think it's on 5 right now. And then the episode should start. And we're not going to skip anything. We're going to watch the recap.
So I don't have
So how did you all feel about what's up?
Is it starting now?
Yeah, it should be running now. If you're not seeing it and you're on the Twitch channel, just go ahead and refresh the page and it should pop up for you.
Oh.
So the image that we just saw was the during the recap was Nyeneve's Super Saiyan moment, and from all of the commentary that we had from Logain and the others that were in the room, it seemed like there was a visual aspect to her channeling there. So what do you guys think about that? This is very different from the books where only women can see women channel unless she manifested some sort of visual attribute to her AoE heal that she did, I guess.
Yeah, it's because it's the visual medium. You don't have to describe it with the written word. You have to show it. So
you think it's just like what do you call that?
It's a crutch.
Yeah.
It's a crutch for the viewer.
Just for the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, the technical term for that, for like, the cameraing and set design and like visual lighting, all that stuff it's in my head. It'll come out. I'll shout it out in 5 minutes. Once the Adderall kicks fully in. I liked this little tidbit too that they added in with her dad. I like how they show him fixing the net and all the fisherman stuff. I grew up in a fishing town, and losing fingers and hands is a real thing. Working on any kind of fishing, that is a
lines are dangerous.
Oh yeah, I don't think I ever worked on a boat where I didn't see at least one deckhand or somebody that had worked with in fishing for a long time that wasn't missing a finger or an entire hand or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which reminds me of the first time I was on a boat. One of the deckhands, as a joke, told me to fill up a bucket of water while we were in motion on the boat. And he was like, he tied a bucket to a line and he was like, yeah, throw it over the side and fill it up. So that when I threw it over the side, it yanked it out of my hand. I was like 13 or something like that. That is how people lose fingers, then.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know any of that. I assumed like a fish bit off his hand or something.
That's also possible. But usually it's a line getting tangled up in a line or something like that. That's the easiest way to do it. It's a lovely, like, I don't know if it almost looks like it may be like digitally removed. I'm not sure.
The way he's holding it clutched to his side doesn't look natural.
Yeah. And just the way the finished product looked in front of that net looked a little off. But even if not, no, yeah, that's definitely digitally removed, because a lot of as we know, a lot of the final product of the digital stuff that they did was a little off for season 1 because of budget.
It's funny. I didn't even notice that. I guess I had noticed it, and then I'm like, oh, it seems weird to stare. And that's as far as I got.
That's weird. That's fair. That's fair. Reminds me of an old George Carlin bit.
Burn their house down.
Yeah. So they're in tier, and obviously in tier, correct me if I'm wrong, it's illegal, right?
Yes.
Or is that?
It's illegal. It
is illegal, right? Okay. That's not just formatting. And I guess they know she can channel, so. And the Polynesian-esque tattoos that they have, I thought was also a great addition to the Tyrian people. I liked that a lot. I looked up a lot of the New Zealand Polynesian people. Oh wow, what's the name of the country?
Maori.
Yeah, Maori. But I was trying to remember the indigenous name of the country.
I think it's Aotearoa. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. They're very similar to the way they have their tattoos. Like even like Hawaii and like the others in the Polynesian islands are similar, but specifically the way the New Zealanders have their tattoos is very similar to that. specifically the around the outside, like just on her collarbone. Oh, that's a great, yeah. I mean, I saw someone say that. I'm not sure if it was you or Rosa when we were doing the season 2 stuff, like when it was first coming out. And I thought that was a really, really, really good little thing if they did that. And I'm kind of sad that they didn't. I feel like that would have been a great little tidbit for them to put in. And for those who can't, who didn't see that, that's Arosa saying that, Suan was helping untie the knots for the net with her weaving. So it would have been interesting to see her help untie the shield that Maureen had on her in season 2.
Well, yeah, she didn't know it was there. That was,
yeah. Once she figured it out, though, that would have been a cool thing to have her do. Though the trust that she showed in Rand and the control and tense moment that Rand had to have trying to sever that shield was poignant and very.
Yeah, I know the fingers of the dragon are a massive delta, and that wasn't really a delta. A lot of people got hung up on that, but it was a beautiful set.
Yeah,
even if it didn't match.
Yeah.
Do you know like what a delta is off the top of your head? Because I don't remember.
It's where yes, I do. Water is my thing. It's either where it's where a river spreads out over the land, multiple channels. Right. It could be where a river meets like a bay or an ocean, or it could be where two rivers intersect, and the water just spreads out. Lots of shallow water, lots of channels. The channels change. A lot of vegetation.
And that's that's where the fingers of the dragon come in.
Yes,
they look
all the
like
different
almost
fingers, right?
Yeah,
okay. And because they change, but you need space for it to spread out. And confined by mountains, they don't move. They stay more stationary. Those are fjords.
There are a lot of river references in the map of the Wheel of Time.
Yes.
I would have loved like an overhead, like another 30 seconds to that scene where we got an overhead shot of
Stone of Tyr.
The Stone of Tyr, but the whole delta leading up to Tyr. Kind of showing the path she has to navigate. And maybe that would help tie the tattoos that we see later.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get something. Yeah. So my theory for that is that when they leave the waste, because we know that they're going to be doing a lot of Isle waste stuff in season 3. So, and to not do any book spoilers past book 3 for now, we know that happens more in later books. So my feeling on that is when they come back out of the waste, that they're going to come into Tyr instead of.
I love this visual of the Hall of the Tower.
The Hall of the Tower, yeah.
The colors of the Ajah on the floor, the sitters.
Every column is carved.
Yeah, intricately. Very detailed. The costuming is beautiful. Maureen still wearing like armor a little bit too. Like it's not just like I forgot what you call that.
A bolero jacket.
Bolero, that's what it is. All the cosplayers were big with that when this came out.
Serenity there.
My favorite part about the costumes is the stark difference in all of the Aes Sedai, even the ones of the same Aja. The cut and material and style of the dresses and everything that they're wearing are completely different. Minus these women who I assume are like guards of some kind. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's still chained.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's dangerous, right?
Lack of handrails on the balcony. It's a safety hazard.
Yeah. Oh, fucking.
There is no Wheel of Time OSHA.
Yeah, it's not OSHA approved. Definitely not OSHA approved. Though, since they're a government building, I'm sure that they can get around following all the laws anyway. I used to work for New York State We never followed any of the rules.
There's probably an active argument between the Browns and the Whites if they should implement them, how they should do it.
The Grays will probably mediate.
Oh yes, the Grays will be involved.
Oh man, seeing her there, forgot her name, the head of the Blues that was just there. M starts with an M. It'll pop in my head.
It's right there. It's right there.
Seeing her there after what happens to her in season 2 is big.
Mm-hmm.
And for anyone following along, Megan, thank you, Arosa.
Megan, yeah.
See, I don't know where Noman Garden is. I'm a little worried. We should reach out and make sure he's okay. But he's usually the one that corrects us for the episode. But we are at 11 minutes and 30 seconds right now. So for those following along that aren't watching over on Twitch. Let's see. What do we have for the trivia for this? Trials for male channelers are traditionally held before they are gentled. This is as much of a tradition as it is. This is much of a tradition as it is Tower law. Okay. At least it's informative. Like I've said it 100 times, but the trivia. So we've done this rewatch series with other shows before, and when we did Rings of Power, the trivia for that was just absolutely horrible. And this is at least somewhat informative for non-book readers.
I love how Swan is just in full control of the room.
Oh yeah, her Sophie Okonedo is. I mean, the casting. If you hate the show, the casting, the acting, the costuming is fantastic, and the people that non-toxically talk about a dislike for the show always talk about how great the casting is and how great the acting is.
To me, that is Swan Sanche.
Yeah, she's perfect.
And I love Alvaro Mote as Logan.
No, he's perfect.
There's literally no. I don't think there's any actor that I don't like in their role. I like everybody in their role. Maureen,
Here's
like
where she
Rosamund,
loses control, unfortunately.
yeah. Rosamund Pike is Maureen for me now, and so is Sophie for that matter. Like I see, and Kate and Priyanka. Like when I go back and reread the books now, I'm seeing them in my head when I read it. The one that's still a little fuzzy for me is Lan, because I always imagined Lan is a little bit bigger, but I still see Daniel Henney more like a mutant Daniel Henney, like a Daniel Henney.
A little more muscle.
Yeah, if he got hit with gamma radiation or something.
It helps for me to see the actors, even if they're not how they're described in the book, because the way I visualize books is it's like a blob, and say you're describing Tom, it's a blob with mustaches.
Yeah, that's
Nynaeve. It's a blob with a braid that she's tugging it. It's directly related to the action they're doing. Otherwise, the image just poofs out of my head.
That's exactly what I always say, but it's better. It's much you formatted that a lot better. Like I don't actually see faces and stuff until I see some sort of representation of it. Like I did that with Harry Potter when I first read it. And then saw the movies and other like Lord of the Rings and things like that. But it was the actors that really formed it in my head. Prior to that, like you said, it was just like visual representations of their character, maybe a weapon or a piece of their garment or a braid, and then just vague human shape. I'm not a visual person in my head. I don't think in pictures. What about you, Mary?
A little both. Kind of depends. It all kind of just blends together.
Some people are very confused by that. I've seen a lot of like those TikToks and things like, what? You don't see pictures when you think of things?
I'm confused by that. that you see pictures.
Yeah, no,
That
I don't.
confuses me.
Yeah, I don't see.
Like, yeah.
Now, this part didn't make sense. I mean, she's obviously deflecting, and they let it happen.
Yeah. The only thing I could think of is Suwan wanting to give herself like a reason to not show any favoritism toward Maureen. Like this is an opportunity for her to like reprimand Maureen for something and side with Leandrin over her, publicly at least.
Well, this is definitely politics in action. She is
Yeah.
Yes.
definitely putting on a show to punish Maureen, 100%.
One of the things I think they did great in the show, and this is a great scene for that, is showing the divide between the Aes Sedai and other Aes Sedai and their leadership faster than in the books. Like in the books, I don't think you really see that until maybe part way through book 2 or maybe even into book 3. Like you see a little bit of it maybe when Rand meets the Amyrlin in book 2, but I like the way they were able to, they built the Aes Sedai up and then immediately brought them to like, you know, questioning their integrity,
yeah,
their knowledge, and showing the infighting and everything too. The camp scene was a good one too, when they had even Priyanka and Alana and her warders trying to like, you know, fish for information from Lan and Maureen.
Did they show that they have this united? They can have a united front when they're trying to face the world, but internally they have their own divides. And maybe that was part of the intention with episode 5, is you saw the tower, but you never actually went there. Or no, sorry, you did. Hello.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. The divisions weren't apparent until this episode.
Yeah,
you saw this monolith, and then now they're breaking it down.
And then even in with Loghain, like when they link together, you know how quickly they work together and form links and back each other up in the fighting outside and in the room with Loghain. Showed even though Maureen and the other Reds and Leandrin in particular don't get along at all, they were able to work together instantaneously when the need arose. See, this is why Arosa and I get along so well, because we have similar brains. Aphantasia. Okay. It's another thing to add to the list of things I have.
My brain wants to say Fantasia.
Fantasia. I haven't seen that in forever. Leandrin looking very satisfied with her prostrating, taking Maureen down a peg. Yeah, I know I said it already, but if you look at it in the background at all the different Aes Sedai, the dresses are great. You even see someone with a hijab, which is interesting.
Several actually.
Yeah.
Just a couple, yeah.
Oh God, Priyanka is beautiful.
Snack water.
Yeah, always. You got to look up some interviews with her. She talks, and Taylor as well. They talk about how she actually does always carry snacks. Like he carries snacks for her, and that's something that they kind of worked into the show that Priyanka does.
Yeah, I heard that was improv. Maybe it wasn't quite improv, but it wasn't direction from.
No, it's something that they brought in from Priyanka.
Okay.
From her. Yeah, the diversity of the peoples of the Westlands is vast, it's something that was a sticking point for a lot of the people when they first watch it. Well, it was a sticking point for a lot of the white males when they first watched it because people get attached to what they think they see when they read books. But
people envision what is based on their experiences. It's on them, right? It's your mind. And you don't really have a lot of control over your experiences unless you're completely insular and don't make a point of trying to go out and see all the different variety that there is in the world.
Yeah.
So so it can be a little bit jarring. It's a cognitive dissonance, and and you can either approach that as this is so fascinating, this is cool, or you can get defensive, and that's a choice.
Yay!
Yes.
What's up, Crystal? And there's your basal gill.
Yeah.
But the countries of the Westlands are extremely diverse. I mean, like the world was a united utopia for several thousand years, and then it was thrown into turmoil. So people got thrown all over the place.
Right, and it was put back together, then torn apart, then put back together, then torn apart.
Yep.
Over the intervening millennia. So,
and there's no division along racial bounds, like physical features and stuff like that. People don't divide that way in the world of the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, but God forbid you're from Ilion and you're in Camelin.
Yeah. They have a very interesting nationalistic thing going on. How the Tyrians hate the Alieners, and then the Mayoners hate the people from Tyr, and so on and so forth.
How
then the general
Onions
contempt
will rob you.
Yeah. The general contempt that most of the borderland countries feel for the Southlands.
So they can't get their shit together.
Yeah.
Lan was quick with that disarming of Rand.
I like it. This is a bit of not bait and switch, but it's a diversion. It's they're trying to set up Matt up as if he were the dragon for the non-readers.
Yeah. And I think they did a really good job with that. Based, from people that I've spoken to, Arosa being one of them, who hadn't read the books when they first watched the show. I never saw anyone definitively be like, I know it's Rand. Like, I hadn't seen anyone be like, it's 100% Rand.
And it was rather obvious to book readers that it was, because Rand was the main POV.
Yeah, I always say that. It's like, everyone was like, well, isn't that obvious in the books either? I'm like, literally the first POV is Rand. He's the first character you see. Mm-hmm. And then the majority of the book is his POV.
Right. I mean, I kind of miss the tower healing of Matt, but that may still happen. We don't know. I don't think so, but it could.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to get him to Tar Valon and then to the Waste if that is where they're going early in the season.
Right. I like Donal. I like Barney. I think they both did a good job with the character.
Yeah. I mean, like, inadvertently, they did an interesting job of making it like Dagger Matt versus non-Dagger Matt. He's no longer Dagger Matt.
Might as well, yeah.
When they did the reunion between Rand and Matt and whatever episode that was sort of I guess that was the first time we saw Donal, but that was sort of their way of saying, hey, this is the new actor. They haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah.
But they also tied it to the story.
Their on-screen relationships and the chemistry that Matt and Perrin and Matt and Rand had were like, as soon as I saw them together, I was like, yeah, never mind. They're perfect. I liked him, but it wasn't until I saw them together till I was like, yeah, this is it.
Interesting. So if Moiraine did the healing and, well, always unreliable narrators, but she took on the darkness for him, what Rand just said, maybe that's why she seemed to be so out of character in season 2.
That'd be interesting. Like maybe the dagger affected her in some way.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to have that be a plot point moving forward or not, or if Shadar Logoth is done.
Yeah.
I never thought about it that way. I always thought it's Moraine being Moraine, putting on her Moraine blinders and just going headlong into whatever she thinks she needs to do. But
As she
yeah,
usually
it
does.
could be her way of her body's way of kind of processing that evil.
Oh, the burn of the wisdom.
Oh yeah, so casually just inserted in there.
To jump back for a second. Oh, and I found a image, one of my favorite pictures from season 2, specifically what we were just talking about.
Ooh.
There.
And then a bath scene.
Like that, like when I saw their face, like
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
just
oh
so-
man, perfect. He did so well with that.
Yeah. It was well done. You could feel it.
Yeah. But the Loyal, when he first brought Nynaeve into the room, I thought Hamed does a great job like depicting Loyal as both with a superior intelligence and wisdom of having lived so long and read so many books and be so scholarly and scientific in the way he looks at things, while at the same time being so naive and childlike. Like, instead of immediately bringing Rand's friend into the room and being like, look, I found your friend, he was like, he had to start and like info dump and tell the whole story of how he found her and why he noticed her. And
Yeah.
it's such a childlike thing to do.
It's for Loyal though, and I appreciated that.
Yeah. I still haven't seen that, Arosa. So Yosha was in Gran Turismo, and I keep forgetting to go and check that out. Not a big fan of racing stuff, but definitely want to check that out. I watched, before we got to see him in season 1, I watched a bunch of clips of his stuff, like some of his foreign stuff, his European stuff that he did. It was hard to get an idea with not seeing him speak a lot of English, but he seemed like a good actor, and he is, like, now that we've seen him, I think he's fantastic. I'm not looking forward to brooding Gothrand, but I'm interested to see how Yosha does with it.
Has that Gran Turismo movie come out yet?
Yeah.
Where he was the bad guy? I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it yet.
He's the bad guy in that movie.
Yeah. He's the
Well,
villain.
he's presented as the antagonist.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not really a bad guy. It's a racing movie.
Right, so yellows.
The other thing that they've sped up is the idea of learning to channel, the way the Aes Sedai learn, and Egwene with the hand motions. I'm bringing that up now, obviously, because the last time we saw them was in the White Cloak camp. So, I like that they did that quicker in the show.
Yeah, there was no need to belabor the point.
No. They hit you over the head with it real fast, though, when in episode 2, right, in that prologue.
True.
But did we ever get a count on those rings? I think there was more than 10, I think, right? I don't remember. It's been a while.
I didn't. That's a good point.
Should go back and check that out. I'll do that later. Let's see what the trivia says. So where are we at? We are at 29 minutes and 37 seconds. So let's see what the trivia says. Maybe the trivia tells us. The Yellow Aja is for women drawn to healing. They spend their lives truly in service to their sisters and their community. Passion to fix what is broken is what makes a woman want to become a Yellow Aja. So no, nothing about the rings. But good point to explain what the Yellow Aja is. It's not just healing, it's fixing what is broken. And I like that they use that terminology. Ah, okay, so 7. All right. 7 of my sisters. Ah, I remember that line now. Oh, I didn't realize Rosamund was in Dora the Explorer.
No, it
Oh,
wasn't
Madeline,
Rosamund.
Madeline.
Madeline was,
But,
yeah.
I read Maureen off the bat. This COVID brain fog thing is real, by the way. I am all fuzzy, all kinds of fuzzy. But that city is huge. When you look at like the
Yeah.
shot that we just got, when you
Mhm.
really like look at the small details and how big those buildings are and
Yeah.
how tiny they look when you see it compared to the White Tower. The movie that I always think of with Rosamund Pike for whatever reason is Doom, the one with the rock. I don't know why. I've seen a million movies with her in it, but that's the first movie that pops in my head when I think about Rosamund Pike.
I think of Gone Girl.
Yeah. Their room here, her room is just so sparse here. It's like it's just a space. It's not a space that she occupies.
Yeah, and I like the way they said that when they were coming into Tarvalon, like where she said, he's coming, like Lan said they were coming home, and Maureen said home is this saddle and these boots and da-da-da.
Yeah.
And that the comparison to the starkness of that room is definitely lends to that. Like she doesn't view this place as home. She just is just a stopover.
Right.
It's about as bland as a hotel room.
Yeah. I mean, the only personal thing that's in there is that the picture frame terangrial.
Right. Which almost blends into the background.
Yeah. Though again, the architecture is beautiful. The door is awesome. That room divider that's just behind her there is awesome. Even the fireplace and the sconces, just I want my house to look like that.
I wouldn't want to clean it.
No. Could you imagine trying to clean the dust out of all those crevices?
Oh, you would need an air blower.
Ugh. Or the One Power, apparently.
Right. Yeah. I like the nightshirt is literally just a shirt.
Yeah. So you have to channel into the terangrial to activate it or to use it. And interesting, the door closed. I don't know if that's necessary or if she just did that. And since season 1, the computer generation budget was a little lacking, we don't know what weaves she used. Unless you want to just assume it's pure spirit.
Working on her knots.
Oh, she has an actual net there. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. They call this the Love Shack.
Yeah. The choice of, obviously they're getting ready for bed. So, they're not in their dresses and stuff. But I think the costuming, so Sharon Gillam and Rafe and the other writers, I think it's very poignant, the clothing options that they choose for all of the characters and all the scenes that they're in. They like to in the clothing, they like to show mentally where the character is, and here they're completely disarmed, vulnerable, exposed to each other because they trust how much they trust each other, which is going to be interesting for like the first time they meet each other in season 2. They're in their full Aes Sedai regalia. They're not in armor with weapons, but that's essentially what an Aes Sedai's armor is their clothing. Yeah. They don't need to have actual armor necessarily. And honestly, I always thought that the relationship that we have with the two of them here was great. I thought it was a lost opportunity in the books, especially the way they built them in. We're not talking about New Spring that like for now, but New Spring deals with young Maureen and Lan. So obviously we get to see some interaction between Swan
young Maureen and Swan as well.
Yeah, and there was a lot of opportunity. Which
version of New Spring you have.
Yeah, that's fair. There was a lot of opportunity for them to explore what could have been a relationship with the two of them, and I like that they delved into that for the show.
There were multiple versions of New Spring. Maybe
Yes.
that's
The original version of Newspring came out in an anthology called Legends.
Mhm.
And it was just it started with Lan. In the chapter that starts with Lan. The entire part with Moiraine and Swan and the Tower and the Search and Guitara's vision was not included in the original version. Yeah. It was about, they added, when Jordan fleshed it out into a novella, he added about 2/3 of the overall length to it.
The scene where Bukama and Lan set up the attack.
Set up the camp, yeah.
Yeah, the anvil and the hammer for the Aiel group.
Yes, and then the Aiel recognize him and move. I don't know where books. Newspring is not book 1 through 3, so
yeah, you're right.
So I will keep that to myself.
That's my bad. Good thing we have somebody here that has a brain in their head at the moment, because I don't. My brain is very fuzzy in the last 10 days or so with this COVID.
Fair.
I'm kicking my butt.
Yeah. In non-spoiler parts of it, though, I ordered Newspring, the hardcover, a couple years ago. I got an unopened original first edition.
Ooh,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Of course I opened it.
Yeah, well. You got it.
Little pufferfish.
She's right, though. She is a pufferfish.
Yep. The unreliable narrator portion of them not knowing if the dragon can be a man or a woman was also a hotly, I want to say contested, but debated point.
Controversial.
It was controversial amongst the book readers. I think I like it if it ends up just being, the Aes Sedai just don't understand how things really work.
It's a red herring.
It's a red herring.
People got bent over it because it, for reasons of their own, and it wasn't something that was going to pan out. So I don't understand the vitriol.
Me either.
Allow them the creative license.
Yeah.
It's
I'm always
consequential, I think. I think it's going to be how you describe the time. They just didn't know.
Yeah.
Unreliable narrator.
I'm always one to say let it play out and see what they do with it first. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously we know who the dragon is, so it wasn't that. So like let's find out what the reason they thought that was. I hope they just add to the Aes Sedai thinking they know more than they actually do portion of the story, and the unreliableness of the 3Os.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked that.
It's fun to play games with that. Go like, well, what is the truth? What is speculation? Is speculation lying? I don't know.
Having to pay attention to everything the Aes Sedai say poignantly to make sure, like, to see if they're telling the truth or if they're lying or what they are really saying or doing.
You use your words well.
You need a lawyer with you at all times to talk to an Aes Sedai.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine having like a deep conversation with a Grey, who are the actual freaking lawyers.
The diplomats.
Yeah. They could probably talk circles around anybody.
Oh, we saw that in season 2.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Varen is super, super good at that, but she probably doesn't hold a candle to the best of the Greys.
Oh, this is going to be good.
So this is where we get like a little bit of like, almost like maybe there was a relationship between Moiraine and Liandrin here, like the way they talk to each other. And that was kind of like hinted at a little bit in the camp scene too, when they first met up with each other.
There's that pause. So Lan turned around to look at Liandrin, and Moiraine took an extra couple seconds. That's sort of how I am when I encounter someone at work and I want to deal with. It's like, take a deep breath. Okay, you can do this.
Be diplomatic. We don't want to get reported to HR again. for Moraine. So the image that I used for the thumbnail for our episode today was actually like a deleted image that was available on the press website, that the Amazon press website, but I really liked it, so I included it. But it probably happens sometime in this scene, and it's this one. That's the thumbnail. So it's them probably, I would assume, either looking at a map of Tar Valon and the surrounding area to where the Waygate is, or maybe a map of the ways. But I'm sad we didn't get to see that.
Yeah, I wish we got that scene. Give me another. I will settle for a half hour per episode, an additional half hour.
Yeah, that would be great.
I miss the origins.
Yeah.
What happened to those?
And they talked about them having been filmed. So, like, what the heck?
It's the eternal August.
Yeah. The August that never came. We need a shirt. We need shirts.
Number of days since Origins Season 2 was announced. Or supposed to air.
We need to have August in it somehow. The other thing that I like about their costuming is all these different weird ear accoutrements that everyone has. Oh yeah, and up till this point, Egwene thought Nynaeve was dead.
Right.
Yeah, well, there's
so another heartfelt reunion.
Yeah.
Or actually, the first heartfelt reunion.
Yeah. I also liked their additional backstory to Nynaeve. I thought it gave her character more depth and made her less.
This part, and she's not you.
And she's not you.
And here's another great example, I think, of trying to exude a feeling with the character's costume. So, like, here's the Amerlin Seed here. She's not dressed. She is dressed in wool, like a very simple wool dress. She almost looks like she's wearing something mirroring what Nynaeve is wearing. And I think that obviously that had to have been done deliberately to put Nynaeve and Egwene at ease. They wanted to make them feel a connection with her, but also be disarmed, not feel.
Yeah.
And then also the very informal way she's speaking and, laughing and talking to them, not taking offense to the things that she says and things like that.
A little bit of jealousy.
Yeah.
You have Egwene, who's super nervous to be there, and you have Nynaeve, who's just, why am I here?
Yeah.
Nynaeve full of bluster, and it's just not working. She finds it amusing.
And Egwene wants to be the dutiful student. She's trying to do everything prim and proper, exactly the way that, Nynaeve, right to the point, though.
Yes.
You want to blow smoke up her ass? All right.
It's like, you've had enough latitude.
Yeah, all right. I need to put this down now.
Yeah.
Something I'm noticing now is the picture is
open.
Again, open, yeah. So I wonder if maybe closing it is part of the activation of it now. I hope we get to see it again.
Maybe the picture looking at it open brings her comfort. It's that simple.
That's fair.
Reminds her of Moraine.
Mm-hmm.
Egwene also almost immediately takes that braid out of her hair too.
Yeah, matches the book.
Yeah. Another way to show that she's wanting to dissect herself from the small town wisdom and really marry into what she wants to be, which is now an Aes Sedai.
She's got her eyes on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
What color is the stone in her ring?
The Amerlins? Oh yeah, that's a good point. wonder if they made it multicolored. Or just no, it couldn't just be white because there's a white object.
Is it a mood ring? Does it change between one of 7 different colors depending on your mood?
Now I'm definitely gonna have to go back and check it.
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't just be no stone because that's the accepted. Oh, yeah, well, that's going to have to be something that we watch for.
I've created lists before on rereads of like things to look out for, and I remember about a third of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Sparkle Sprung. Yeah, I guess that's right. The easiest thing would be to just leave it as the ring that they were raised from. But
Yeah.
they're very poignant about not wanting the Amaryllis to be like, be of all Ajas. It's like very rude to mention that they were, with the Aja that they were raised from and things like that. So
is blue Rosamund's natural eye color?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a very deep blue. That fits.
Yeah,
that fits it.
The only person with bluer eyes is Paul Hollywood from the British Baking Show.
I want to live there. Like, just look at the little towns on those hills.
Yeah. Maybe the slopes of Dragonmount.
It's probably one of the safest places to live.
You're not lying.
We don't get to know what Do we get to know what Leandrin's punishment was?
I don't think so, no. I would assume it's something light because we don't hear about it. Or at least we don't see it or anything. I don't think we hear about it, though. Oh, wait, ring. Oh, there's definitely something in there. It looks gold. There was definitely something in that ring. It wasn't empty.
Yeah, it's not blue.
It wasn't blue. I think it might just be like a gold. It looked like it was almost just like a gold nugget.
Could be.
You would also think that, the punishment, usually when they punish an Aes Sedai, part of it is doing it like publicly so that they would have like maybe accepted and other Aes Sedai in the chamber, like watching. But this seems to just be the Hall of the Tower.
Do you think Leandrin's punishment was private? Maybe she had to do the dishes for one night.
And this is how they introduced the Oath Rod.
Yep. Pretty much exactly as I pictured it. I mean, I didn't picture it that intricately carved, but it's still like a good depiction of it, I think. Because I think they usually describe it as smooth, fluted rod or something like that.
Oh, that was the Sarangriel.
Was that the Sarangriel? Oh, okay. I like the way they show the one power working its way through the objects that they use in the show too.
Through the grooves, yeah.
The accepted twisted doorways in season 2 are also pretty cool. There's a couple of scenes where you could see one of the doorways, the top of the arch is broken, but when they channel through it, the channeling continues where the arch isn't. Like it goes over into like through the broken area as if the arch was still whole, and it looks pretty cool.
So I guess the question was, can the rest of the tower hear this, or just when she speaks louder?
Yeah. Is there a broadcast system built into the Hall of the Tower for when they need to make announcements?
They could do that with the one power.
Yeah. And also clever engineering.
Yeah, they have
A mixture of the two.
they have dumbwaiters throughout the whole tower.
Yeah.
They have servant pathways.
Yeah.
Gotta have ventilation in some form of it.
The,
to get the air through.
We're at 50 minutes and 25 seconds, by the way. 50-50. The actual physical representation of Moiraine being forced to obey the oath that she just swore in season 2, I thought was also really cool.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really see anything like that in the books, I want to say. You know, you see them having to twist their words sometimes and, like, you know, stop speaking and things like that. But or you know, them trying to force them to say things. And then the Shaunchin, when they have some of the Aes Sedai as Damane. But the physicality of her being forced to do what Siuan is directing her to do at the end of season 2 was, I thought, really cool. Especially the callback to, like, you could see the wisps of the power forcing her to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I could feel the pain of the moment.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of this scene. It's like, oh, this is going to be, we're pretending, but then you get that scene and that's for real.
Yeah.
Like when she forced her to do that, that was it.
And it was that's really like one of the, if not the breaking point, it was like one of the big breaking points for the two of them. The final straw was probably Moiraine walking through this
gauntlet.
Yeah. I love how they're doing this too. Leandrin, of course, wants to watch her, but you know, she's gonna do it.
And that one red sister with the hijab who just holds her hands as if displaying her ring.
Mm-hmm.
Priyanka's expression.
The last to turn.
I'm sure part of her is sad that this is happening. Like, you know, even though she knows it's not technically...
It's like, not her home, but it's been her base. It's her strength. It's something you could fall back to. And she's kind of cut loose.
And where Siuan doesn't actually mean for her to be exiled, like, you know, like, it's not, I don't want to say it's not, like, it's not fake. She's really exiled.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, her, being an Aes Sedai is her entire self-image, but I'm sure part of her is still greatly affected by the fact that she's technically now an exiled Aes Sedai.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little sad we didn't get the, you know, the twisted vine doorway, you know, doors of the way gates as they were depicted in the books, but I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Any theories on why they moved the way gates?
It's not in the city itself.
Yeah, because it's not in the grove. Tar Valon is one of the only cities with the original intact grove.
But we have the grove.
Yeah.
Wonder why they moved it. Maybe they just like the hill.
Maybe this is just another way gate, and they didn't want to use the one in Tar Valon to, like, alert
so
people.
No one would see them. Yeah. It's a good point.
You know, like, that would make sense as to why they were looking at the map, because Moiraine would know where the way gate in Tar Valon was, but, like,
it's probably guarded.
Yeah. Or at the very least, people would know if she used it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, oh, let's find another waygate that's close by. What's the next closest waygate builder? Like, that would be something to ask. If you pay attention in this scene too, you see Matt very little. Like this is the only point where you see him, and then it's just like they did the editing cut job on from when until the waygate closes is evident.
When the gate closes, and this is in probably another 30 seconds, if Moiraine had said the wheel weaves as the wheel wills, when Matt turned away instead of going into the ways, that would have been perfect.
Yeah.
I would have been fine with everything that happened.
She didn't say that nearly enough.
Yeah. Loyal has never said his famous catchphrase. I know.
Tasty.
Shh, can't say it.
Well, he did.
He did
In
once?
season 2, right?
No,
He
he's in the interaction that they had with Moraine earlier.
Okay, I don't remember.
No.
Well, one of them said hasty. It might have been Moraine that said it.
I don't remember.
He got cut off once when he was about to say it. I think it was in the first season.
It's almost like when Captain America never got to say Avengers Assemble in any of the Marvel movies until the end. The Hamed, when Kathy got a chance to interview him, mentioned that there are a lot of pockets in his costumes, and he does have books in them, which I thought was pretty cool.
That would make sense.
Do you think he has to wheel time books?
That would be that would be
All of
awesome. The leather bound version, so that they look period. Correct. Okay, all right. I can hear Hamed's voice saying hasty, but I don't.
Did he say hasty though? I'm gonna have to rewatch that.
I'm gonna go back and rewatch it.
Let me find the timestamp.
I remember him implying it. I'll just rewatch it. No point in arguing.
Where are we? Let's see.
Yeah, it starts at around 40 minutes in.
So we're at 56 now. Let's see what the. Oh, there is no. The last trivia for the episode is the Oath Rod, and that's at 50 minutes. So nothing about the Waygate, which is interesting. Also, the deleted scene that we saw that's in the extras of Pat and Fane with
the leaf
necklace, I thought they should have left in.
Oh, it was a necklace.
It's a pendant on a chain. I don't know if it's a necklace. I just assumed it was a necklace because it's a pendant on a chain, but I mean, it could have just been the way they hold it. I don't know. At least that would have made sense to how he got in and out of it. Like, and it would also make sense, that they're usable by people that can't channel. So
I just realized almost an hour into this episode, even though I have it on mute, I can put on the closed captioning.
That's what I have on. That's what's distracting me.
Yeah, I always have it. So if you do go back and rewatch the episode with Loyal, you should also put on, and this is something that I usually talk about a lot, and I attribute it to my COVID brain. But if you watch it with the visually impaired descriptions as well, there's a lot of interesting little tidbits that they put in there.
And there's the
way they describe things, what they call things, the title. Like, you find out a lot of people's names in that you don't get to see in other places. The other thing I liked that they did in season 2 was how quickly Lanfear opens the Waygate.
Compared to
it's just like poof.
Yeah,
right.
She just goes she has her fingers in like a weird thing, and she just turns her hand and it opens. Mm-hmm. Where I think I timed it at the time when we watched the episode, but I think it was 20 something seconds, 28 or 29 seconds it takes Maureen to open it, and it takes Lanfear less than 1 second. The actual set of the ways where they walk, I wasn't thrilled with, but the background imagery of the ways I enjoyed.
With the lightning and the
lightning, yeah. So, I mean, what you see in this season is good, but I really liked what you see in season 2 in the ways, like the way the lightning and the background image that you see in season 2, I thought was really cool.
Yeah, just the pillars and the the oppressive darkness.
What do you think those pillars are? Because they don't look.
They wouldn't be stalactites or stalagmites.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like they're original. It almost looks like it's like a buildup of the evil inside, maybe, or
no, because they were islands with enough soil on them to grow trees.
Oh, okay.
And that's the episode. So, hold on. I have some of the images while we're still fresh in that area. Let's go to the images that I have from the ways. I'll share it. Okay, there we go. So this is, and I caught a couple of the scenes when the lightning was striking. So this is a good shot. This is obviously season 2 when Lanfear's in there, but it's still the same set.
See, I'm getting more, and I love what they did with it. Like originally, when I thought of the ways, I was thinking more of like if you played Diablo 2, the Arcane Sanctuary.
Okay, yeah, I could see
something
that.
like that. But this is more like Moria, or Arcane Sanctuary infested with Moria.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my mind, the ways were just pitch dark nothingness with these little blobs of islands and bridges leading off of them. It would have been a very cheap set to build, but it would have been very boring visually.
Yeah. The amount of light and the lightning that was in the waves was jarring, because I always liked the way that they described them, how like even light sources were like muted and there was just, it was complete blackness. Oh, there's a Gnomon Garden. She does, and I think I have an image of her. Yeah, there it is. She does her little Spider-Man. That's her little Spider-Man symbol when she opens the way gate.
If we just watch this part of the episode just for her costume, I'd be happy.
Her costuming throughout the entirety of
it. Just feels otherworldly and
it also
evil
feels fear.
And yeah.
I like how they played with the costuming in the World of Dreams and everything. We've said it 100 times, but the costuming, the acting, the set design has been just on point and fantastic. So I'm gonna change us over to full spoilers. So anyone that doesn't want to get spoiled for anything in the books, go ahead and dip out. But we're gonna switch over.
You. Go read.
Yeah, read, and or just become okay with spoilers.
Yeah, it's only 14 and a half books.
I have a friend that is reading the book for the series for the first time, and she and another friend are about 20 chapters into the Great Hunt, and I am being very careful to not spoil it for them. I mean, they watched season 1. And that's what got them into wanting to read the series. And they haven't watched season 2 yet because they want to finish. They asked me how far they had to read. And I'm like, you probably should get to at least midway through The Dragon Reborn, if not all the way through The Dragon Reborn.
Yeah.
Before you watch season 2. If you don't want any spoilers.
That's fair. I feel like that's a good point to stop. For season 3, who knows? But
right.
Recently, there's a show called Nerd Forge. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. There's I forgot the woman's name. It's her and her husband. She makes lots of really just awesome stuff. She binds books and makes miniatures and paints and does background, all kinds of stuff. It's a really cool thing. But one of the most recent things she did was she bound all of the Wheel of Time books in one thing, and this
massive.
It's 12,000 pages.
That's like it's a meme I saw of Linny's sayings, and it was like Linny's sayings. Yeah, it was exactly like this.
Yeah, the Wheel of Time, and then there's this little pamphlet, the Wheel of Time if Nynaeve had a gun.
Oh, that was
the Wheel of Time would be like 4 books shorter if they spoke to each other and or had cell phones.
Communication.
Martina, that's her name. She's fantastic. She does some amazing. She's incredibly talented. Her husband is also, I don't remember the stuff that he does. He does a lot of the stuff with the larger tools. I remember she's always calling him in for stuff. But she's incredibly talented. Just incredibly talented.
I don't know, take the book with you on a plane and you just whip this out of your bag.
Yeah, I just brought one book, a little light reading.
Yeah, that's a carry-on by itself. You would not that would be it. You couldn't bring that end something on the plane.
You would need a whole seat.
Yeah. Fucking huge. It's so big. Anyway.
Can you link that in, I don't know, somewhere. Comments.
Yeah. I'll put
Wherever.
a link to the video where she makes that in the comments, and I'll send it to you as well. She the title of the YouTube is "I made a 12,000 page bookbinding abomination." That's the title of the YouTube video. I just put the link in YouTube's, and I put it in our chat.
Bonus points if she gets it signed by Harriet.
Yeah, I think she I think she gifted it to Daniel Green. I think. I'm not sure.
Does it include New Spring?
That's a good question.
And Ravens.
I did not. Oh, she did. Okay, there you go. I don't think it includes Ravens. That would be interesting. But if she included, well, I mean, who wouldn't love it? Who wouldn't love it? I would love it. I didn't see what the cover looks like, but the
it's kind of this U-shaped thing.
Yeah. It looks like it has a lot of intricate binding on the cover too. I could see it says Wheel of Time at the very least. But anywho.
Well, the advantage of something like that is you don't have to worry about what order to put them on your shelf.
That's fair. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Though you also need to have a shelf that can hold up 75 pounds. You were saying that you got the one of the original first editions of New Spring. I also recently saw a listing on eBay. I don't have them in here, of the entire set. It was like a little less than $200, like $185, and some of them were also first edition, first prints.
For the whole hardcover.
Yeah,
set?
the whole series. Yeah.
Wow.
Just someone listed it on eBay. They might not have known what they had, but some of them, the books were first edition, first prints.
It even came with buried in one of the pages was a free ticket to. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was some Apple convention in 2002.
Oh, that's cool.
I should have kept that.
Yeah. Like it was printed for that event, maybe.
It was like it was a card that was inserted somewhere in the pages.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, a lot of my books, the receipt from the store I bought it was my bookmark, and I have most of them in hardcover because I started reading the series back in '91. I don't have first edition hardcovers of the first two books, and I might not have it for the Dragon Reborn, but I've gone through at least 6 or 7 paperback versions of all of those books.
Oh yeah. Whenever I see paperback versions, whenever I see any versions of them in a thrift store or something, I will buy them. But the paperbacks are usually the ones that I just give out to people. Mm-hmm. They're how I recruit new people to the cult.
Yes.
Gnome Garden, I will kill you. Like
no,
There's no
never,
folding of the pages.
Ever do that.
Ever. We'll never lend you a book. Oh my God. I couldn't. Oh my. If you dog-eared a page in one of my books, there would be murder.
Justifiable.
I don't think it's murder. It's justifiable. That is.
Yeah, that's not. It's self-defense at this point.
There was one of those D&D alignment charts of how you use a bookmark. Let me go see if I can find it. And dog-earing the page. I can't remember if that was neutral evil or chaotic evil.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say that has to be chaotic evil.
If you dog-ear a signed
shelf defense. All right, that made up for it. Now you've made up for your dog ear statement.
The dog ear is chaotic evil.
Yeah.
The receipt is chaotic good. Leaving the book face down on a table is neutral evil. Memorizing the page number is lawful evil. I can see that.
Yeah, really?
That's not me at all.
That's lawful evil?
Memorizing the page number.
Did you just find out you're a lawful evil?
I tend to read until the end of the chapter.
Yeah, me too.
A proper bookmark is true neutral. A leaf is chaotic neutral. A book ribbon is lawful good. Bookmarking it in your ebook is lawful neutral.
Well, ebooks didn't exist when we first started reading. So
this is true.
Yeah,
this is true. They were carved on stone tablets.
Yeah,
it was a literal tablet. Knock someone out with it.
My teachers would give me so much crap about reading such huge books, but not reading our school books.
Who has
I'll
time?
make them interesting, and I'll read them. This episode really brought back a lot of the initial feelings that I got when I met Loyal for the first time, because we got to see more Loyal in this.
Mm-hmm.
And I like specifically there was again I keep shamelessly plugging Kathy's interview with Hamed, but he mentions something in it that I always have in my mind whenever I see him, and he said specifically when he would put the hands on of the costume, that's when he really becomes the character.
The sausage fingers.
Yeah. And he said it's because it forces him to interact with the world differently than he normally does, which is obvious because, they're big, giant freaking hands. But I don't know why that just popped. Oh, it's because I'm looking at a picture of him on my screen. It's the image for the thumbnail. Yeah. But and you could really see his hand in that. So let me pull up the image. I'm just like
I'm thinking of the hot dog fingers from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
No. Oh shit! Oh my god.
Are we full TV spoilers for both?
Yeah,
seasons?
always full TV. Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. Yeah, I adore Hamed as Loyal. I think that's just he just adds such weight to the role. It's just absolutely believable. The prosthetics, you had to do something.
Yeah.
And it's believable. He's an adorable character. I would love to sit and have a cup of tea and go talk about everything with him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not entirely sold on what High Lady Suroth did with him. I don't think that makes sense, but it kind of points to the pettiness of her character.
Okay.
So that kind of is my salve for this doesn't make sense, but
it's not protocol, but it's her pettiness.
Yes, it's her pettiness because she's that's just her. So but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that interview.
He's awesome. So yeah, definitely check it out. It's on the Dragonmount YouTube. He's a lot of fun. The Kate Fleetwood interview was great. I got to edit both of those because they're audio only. Mm-hmm. But Kate said some funny stuff too. Kate, I think Kathy asked something along the lines of a lot of since she kind of plays like an antagonist or a villain, a lot of the villains, actors who play villains in TV shows have to remove themselves, from being social with the other actors in order to really be able to act the part of being a villain.
That's a method, that's a part of the method acting school, I think.
And Kate was just like, fuck no, I wouldn't be able to survive like that. She's like, I just act. She's like, I act right. I hate them.
Keep
but I actually really like them.
And your enemies closer.
Well, it's like the production stills of Egwene and Rena from season 2, when they were not in character, but they were in costume and being friendly. And I think that yes, it's jarring, but it's also kind of heartening because yes, they are actors, they are portraying but it's heavy stuff. A lot of this is really heavy. So the fact that they can, support each other and, after doing that heavy acting, applaud each other's art and hug, maybe it's because I'm old that I just love that.
No, I love that too. And specifically, one of the things that they talked about with the show, and I would assume with things with Egwene, especially given the triggering nature and the the depth of what she had to do in season 2, how they talked about how they had so they had intimacy coordinators, for any kind of sex scenes, but they also had people on hand to help with the more
mentally impactful.
That's a good way to. That's
scarring nature of what they were portraying. Yeah,
because that's deep. That's tough, especially being someone of color as Madeline is,
Mm-hmm.
having to wear a collar and depict herself as a slave and the things that she had to do. That can't be easy to do. And the New York City 2021 or 2022 Comic-Con panel that they did, where prior to season 2 coming out, but they had already filmed most of it, all of the actors talked about how powerful Madeline's acting was and the scenes that she had to do and things like that. And I mean, the book readers knew what it probably was, but they were 100% correct. As soon as we saw it, I was like, wow, freaking.
It was jaw-dropping. It was.
You feel everything. You just feel everything that she did. I found a fun picture, by the way.
It remains the only episode I've only seen once, and I thought that's what we were watching tonight, but wrong season, episode 6.
Wrong season, yeah.
So it still remains watch number 1. It's a lot. There's a lot going on there.
It's a lot. It is hard. Yeah, there.
Yeah, it was fun. They're just
they're
hanging
friends.
out.
They're friends.
Yeah. And that looks like after the
that's the tower scene
on the rooftop. Yeah.
That's the tower scene.
Yeah,
There was I don't know if it was a tweet that Maddie sent out. I think it was the little girl on the fire, and then it was her with Ren on the ground dead, and she had that little smirk on her face. It's like it was like a thank you for a wonderful season 2 wrap or something. Yeah.
That's gotta be sad too. It's someone that you've worked with for the entire season, and now their character is dead, so you're not going to see him anymore. So that's there's a lot of emotion tied up into their scenes and their stuff together. I would love to have the two of them sit down and have somebody interview them. That would be a lot of fun. I liked the way that they did the Shanshan. I liked the way that they did the collars and stuff like that, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it evolves over time with the series.
As it's going to come up again, it's going to come up again.
They got to. Rafe specifically said how he wanted to use the Shanshan the same way that Robert Jordan used the Shanshan in the books, which was as a way to disrupt the story with an unknown factor.
Mm-hmm. That's what they do every time.
Yeah. Oh, here's another one. I mean, that's great. It doesn't get better than that. But yeah. So the way that they it did, yeah. I mean, there had to be a lot of trust between the two of them to do the things that they needed to do. The role of the Shanshan play throughout the series, minus spoiler alert, Surath being a Dark Friend and the other Dark Friends within the Shanshan, is a just wild card for almost every major interaction. They're a thorn in Rand's side when he's planning his consolidation of the Westlands. They're a thorn with the Aes Sedai. They mess plans up with the White Cloaks. There's all kinds of
even the very end, how they re-entered. Or full spoilers. How they re-entered the last battle was literally meant to be a thorn in the Dark One side.
Yep.
And then after the series, what glimpses we got of the Fourth Age, they are going to be an absolute game changer.
Yep. And we've spoken about this before, but and we know one of the Outrigger novels, one of the novellas that Robert Jordan was going to write was going to be a Shanshan, Mat and Tuon returning to the Shanshan following the last battle. So that was going to be a big storyline for the future
to resolve that.
So he still set that up with the within the story itself. Which shirt?
Whose shirt?
Your shirt? My shirt? My shirt's a Dragonmount shirt.
That is Dragonmount. My shirt? I have Soundwave playing as a DJ.
That's fantastic. Soundwave for the youngins that are watching. That's a Transformer.
Yes.
Stabby stab.
Yeah, this is from an artist that comes to the local art and wine festival. I like his stuff. I got a bunch of his shirts.
Yay. My shirt, actually, hold on. I could be. I'm gonna do something right this time and pimp some of the Dragonmount stuff.
There you go.
You could find it on the Dragonmount shop in the merchandise area if anyone wants to go and
Get that merch.
have some of our merch. We have all kinds of stuff over there.
Do you have a frosted mug?
We have a mug and a shot glass, I believe. I don't know if it's a frosted mug.
Oh, you have a ring. You have a Great Serpent ring.
Yes, there's the Great Serpent ring, which is one of the original ones from Badali, I believe. So we have like the Dragonmount has had a connection with Badali for a long time. So I believe we still do, and that's where that comes from.
It says it's in stock. The only spot you can get them.
Yep, right now, yeah, because they're not in.
Because they're
they
not
don't have
licensed
them
anymore.
Yeah, they're not listed on the Badali website anymore.
So watch it. We sold out in 20 minutes.
One of the one of the ones that I really like is this one. I like this shirt. That's a line. That's one of Loyal's lines from season 2. I liked that.
Nice.
Yeah, that was fun. Even though I'm not a big fan of the way the horn looks in season 2.
It looks very otherworldly. It's not, well, this comes back again to that cognitive dissonance. You say horn, we think French horn. The image icon in the book was of the curled French horn style.
Yeah.
And we already know that the people who do the artwork for the books, they read, they got a little snippet and then they drew something. So, it could be whatever from their imagination. They went with what they knew. In this case, they went with something that was more, that was less, musical instrument and more like,
whimsical.
Natural. Yeah. Whimsical, or, is it,
technological,
or it looks like a conch shell, or it looks like a watering can. There's a lot. It's
a facade over what it really is.
Right.
Is there like a battery and some sort of circuit board in there? It does not look
definitely
like
strange.
but it's supposed to look that way. And I like that. It's not going to be. This is not a horn.
It's a magic item.
It's a
not just a
horn-like
regular
thing.
horn. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's
like a
going to
horn.
mix this up and accidentally bust it out at the next party.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like what kind of parties you go to, but
well, we don't talk about those.
Those are for the After Dark panels.
Yes.
My only gripe with it was like, if I saw that sitting on the ground, I wouldn't think, oh, let me blow into it. Like that wouldn't be my first thought.
No, it doesn't look like a horn.
No, but
I think
it
is
is
like a
definitely
USB-C port for charging in there somewhere. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah.
It definitely looks otherworldly. I like the way they kind of glowed it up with all of the imagery that they had of it. Like they made it look like it was shining in almost any of the scenes that it's in. I think I have a screenshot of Matt carrying it through the streets where you really get a shot of it looking like, there it is. Of it looking like super, just like first, like the scene around Matt is very dull and muted, and then the horn is just super bright.
It looks like a giant earring.
And there are interesting earpieces.
An earring for the Green Man?
Ooh.
I do.
He would bust it out at one of his parties.
For sure.
Definitely.
I miss Someshta. That's another thing I miss from the books to the show. We didn't get our Green Man images that, of him like we did in the or any of him at all, actually, I guess. Here's a shot of the horn if it ever loads. There. But it's a little blurry, but yeah, so they definitely glowed it up. Like you could see, like it almost seems like it's producing its own light.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing about the scene that kind of bothered me was that no one mentioned the black tendrils of death growing out of the fucking box after Matt cut it open.
Like Nolan Garden's more like a urinal.
That's messed up. That's hilarious. Fucking Noman Garden.
It's like the sound goes through. It's not like a horn. It goes through a different dimension.
Sure.
I'm not talking about urinal, although those
Well,
are two separate comments.
It does kind of look like urinal.
depends on how many drinks in you are, I suppose.
True.
Oh man. So before we wrap up, when are we going to see you back over on Dusty Whale again? When's your next?
You know what? Trying to find a time to hang with Innkeeper Anas and with Kevin. We've got some ideas cooking. We were supposed to do a show a couple weeks ago, but we had to reschedule it. We were going to try to do it this week, but holidays are getting in the way. So we're trying to find another time to make that work. So I'm hoping soon, before the end of the year.
Yay!
And I was hanging out with the Leaf Cast folks yesterday, which was always an amazing time.
And there's my puppet form.
Yes.
Right
Yes.
Yeah, I had to take a break from all of the streaming I was doing when I had to get an adult day job for a little while, and things are starting to calm down again. But then there's always the, holiday. November and December are usually the worst for planning anything. That's like when every D&D group breaks up. It's when everything takes breaks.
The New Year's resolution is we're going to get the gang back together. Don't worry.
Now I want to play D&D really bad. Ooh. Anyway, what about you, Joe? Do you have any holiday plans or any appearances that we're going to see you floating around anywhere again?
If
are you exclusive to the Dragonmount staff?
No, I poke around as my social anxiety simmers down. I've been on a few different channels. I'm not a regular, but you might see me. There's a slot that pops up.
Ooh, I mean, if there's a slot that pops up, you will fill it. I can attest to that. You're welcome. For next week, though, we finally were able to nail down Mr. Weekly Wheel News, Rob Christensen.
Ooh!
So he's another one who's had his life flip turned upside down recently by his adulting day job. So he's been super busy, but we were able to carve out some time for next week. So we're gonna get to meet Min together next week with Rob. So that should be fun. And we'll also, during the week, probably have some information to share about that interview with Kathy. So if anyone is interested, I'm going to share the link again to the Google form where people, if you have any questions about Kathy's time in Prague, we're going to do probably like either, like I said, a pre-recorded or live. And now that the poll has been going on for an hour and a half, I'll end it. And it seems that most people, 67% of people, want it to be a live interview. So
that is fun.
I want all the bloopers.
Yeah, exactly. Then she doesn't have a chance to hide. We could, people could pepper her with questions.
She accidentally says something she can't. Well, it's live. You can't.
Yeah. Oh well. Oops. We can ask, what this Trollocs name was, and if there was enthusiastic consent to the laying with him.
It is not Steve.
It's not Steve, but we one of the fun things that I got to ask Davina and Sharon. So Davina Lamont, who is she's the head makeup and hair, but makeup also includes prosthetics. So she did all of the prosthetics and stuff. And then Sharon Gillum, who I don't have a picture of Davina, but that's Sharon Gillum. She's the lead costume designer. In the interview, one of the things I asked, and I was so happy that we were right about it, was, do you have, how do you differentiate the Trollocs behind the scenes? And do you have nicknames for them, or is it just Joe or whoever, stuntman, get in Trolloc 1, Trolloc 2? I want Trolloc 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for this scene, and we're gonna have Trolloc 6 in that scene and Trolloc 2 and 4 in that scene. Or do you have names for them? And she said, we absolutely have names for them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
did they get to pick their own name?
What's up?
Did the Trollocs get to pick their own name?
Well, her answer was the names are things that you would never have guessed names for Trollocs.
I'm thinking Narg the, I don't know, Narg the.
Well,
Nash, or
you said it was Margot and Edith, and she listed out 5 or 6 names.
God, I hope one of them is Bob.
Just the simplest name. They were all very old proper names, which was funny. So what I really want to do is
Hildegard. There's got to be a Hildegard.
Hildegard, yeah, that's great. Magdithera. What I really want to do is get a list of the names and then see if we can we'll get like, you know, the community together and everyone can try to figure out which ones are named which. That would be fun to do. This is definitely Edith. That one's definitely Betty. That would be fun. Well, I think that's pretty much all I have for this week. And is there anything that you guys want to bring up before we go?
Other than to thank you for the invitation.
Yeah,
so glad I
always.
could join you.
You guys are always
appreciate it.
welcome.
Thank you
This
very
episode
much.
was great. I'm a big fan of Sally Richardson just because I'm a Gargoyles geek. So, and she just, I loved her episodes that she directed, and thank you for letting us revisit them.
Always. You guys are always welcome whenever you guys want to come. And speaking of Gargoyles, they recently remastered the Sega Genesis game for Gargoyles, and I want to pick it up. Thank you guys for coming. First of all, I had a ton of fun. Thank you, Sparkles friend. I'm trying. I don't know if my voice has been breaking and terrible for the whole episode, but oh yeah, I want the brain fog to go away because I've been just like so out of it for like 5 or 6 days since like my fever broke, and it's just been terrible. But no, thank you, Roof Mistress. Thank you. I love all of you guys as per usual. You awesome nerds are fantastic, and we will see y'all next week with Mr. Rob Christensen of Weekly Wheel News. See if he'll make us a fun cover for his Inquirer page that he usually does. And with that, peace out. Get vaccinated.
Bye.